Hello everyone, it's me again, Musa Hassan. I'm back. I hope you are all good. You are all welcome for today's lesson. Here we are. Before moving on, I'd like to remind you, please subscribe to my channel, share my videos, and if you like my videos, I will appreciate your support and I will give you a very big thank you. Here we are. Today we'll talk about the elements of a story or the story elements. When you read a story, you need to identify some elements to start being part of that story. You need to be engaged with that story. So you need to identify some elements to help you understand that story deeply. I'm not going to talk about the whole story elements, but I'm talking about the main elements of the story. Here we are. We have setting. What do we mean by setting? Today we'll discover this. We have characters, we have plot, conflict, and we have the theme. Setting, characters, plot, conflict, and theme. Moving on. The setting of the story. What is meant by the setting? Setting is where and when of the story. Where did this story took place and in what time? The place of the story can be in a classroom, in the jungle, in the desert, inside your room. That depends on the nature of your story. What kind of story you are writing. So if you are writing a story or if you are reading the story, the setting, understanding or identifying the setting is very important. And when, the time of the story. Is it in the past? Is it happening now or in the present time or in the future? Is it at night or in summer, winter? So simply the setting is the time and place of the story. When you open your book to start reading that story, you will identify the time and you will find a place where the story or the action took place. This is called the setting, the story setting. We have characters. Characters or character is who of the story. Characters or character can be a person or can be an animal or any other creature. We have main character, our hero, and we have minor character or flat characters. That's good. What is the plot? The plot is the events or the action that happen in a story. The sequence of actions, the sequence of events inside the story. What is happening? They're moving, they're fighting, they're jumping, they're laughing, they're dancing. After that, they move back to their home. This is the plot. What is going on inside the story, and that is what of the story. This is called the plot. And we have conflict. What is the conflict? The conflict is the challenge or challenges, the problem or problems that the character will face. When you start read the story will start with introducing the characters and the setting to you. After that, you will move on. The action start to rise up. Problems start, challenges. So you'll find that the character is trying to solve this problem. This is how the action in the story goes. Beginning, then falling down. I'll show you the diagram or the block diagram to help you understand how actions go inside the story. So conflict is challenge or problem in the story. What makes the action of the story? Good. The theme. What is the theme? The theme is the general idea or the main idea or the central idea of the story. What is the writer or what is the author message to you? What is the writer is trying to tell you about? Let's say the writer, you are reading a story about happiness or love or justice. This is the central idea or the main idea of the story. And we have something called the moral. The moral is the lesson that you will learn at the end of the story. So the theme is the general or the main idea of the story. And the moral, you will find the moral or you will learn the lesson at the end of the story. What did you as a reader learn from that story? This is the moral. So theme, main idea of the story, moral is the lesson that the writer is trying to teach you. Now we have this diagram. This is the plot diagram. I'll tell you how actions move up and down. The first part or the first point in the diagram is called exposition. This is the beginning or the starting point of the story where the writer will introduce the character and the setting to you. If you can read this square to your left hand, beginning of the story where the writer introduces the characters and setting. Introduction, beginning. You open the story, you start reading, then you'll identify the character, time, and place. After that, the actions go up, rising action. What happened in this point? This is the main characters start to face conflict. Here, the starting point of the challenge and the conflict. You will feel that you are engaged or you want to discover more about the character and how he will solve this problem. That what made you read to finish that story to discover the plot, the sequence or the sequence of action or the events inside the story. After that, you reach the climax, the top point of the story, the peak of the story, the moment that you will be completely engaged, full of emotion or tension. It is, if you see the square, the most exciting part of the story. Between tracks, we have emotion and tension. In this point, you cannot stop reading. Why? Because you need to reach to the end. You need to find a solution, how the character solve the problem. After this point, actions start falling down, leading to the end. After that, resolution is what? It's the end. It is where the problem or the problems are solved. Here you'll be satisfied. If it is happy ending or sad ending. So remember this steps while reading. Starting point, the writer will introduce the character and the setting to you. Rising action, the top of the action, falling action, and the end of the story and the solution to the problem. That's good. Moving on. Here I have practiced here. I'd like just to be sure you understand the lesson. We have characters, setting, plot, theme. I'd like you to match them to the definition to your right hand. We have the time and place of the story. We have the people or animals in the story. We have the main idea of the story. We have the sequence of events that make up the story. Okay. U-turn. Character is what? Or the character are the people or animals in the story. That's very good. Just speak up. This for you, it's not for me. The setting is the time and place of the story. And what do you think about the plot? What is the plot? The plot is, you are right, the sequence of events that make up the story. And finally, for sure, the main idea of the story is called the theme or the writer's message to you. Moving on, here we have only two: conflict and resolution. What do you think? Conflict is how the conflict is solved. No, you are wrong. Conflict is the problem in the story. Resolution is how the conflict is solved, and that was the end of the story. And this is the end of my story, my lesson for today. Thank you very much for your time. Just to remind you again one more time, don't forget to subscribe, share my video, click if you like this video. Thank you very much for your time. Inshallah, we'll meet soon. Have a nice day.